Hey everyone, good evening, good morning, whatever the time is, wherever you are. Thank you so much, as always, for clicking on my channel or my video today. You're very welcome. I really appreciate it. Today, I want to talk about something that is very important to the heart of my male viewers, because of late I've noticed that most of my viewers tend to be men coming from all over Africa, really all over the world, but mostly men. And there's this thing that a lot of people have been talking about that is a misconception, and I felt duty bound really to come and clear the misconception for a lot of the people who are watching me today. So nowadays you hear people saying all over the place, they say, divorce, so every day divorce all over the place. And yes, the number of divorce cases in the courts are rising by the day. I mean, even I am alarmed by it. But the thing is, you hear a lot of men who just sit down and throw their hands up in the air and say something like, even if I go to the courts to fight for custody of my children, the law always favors the women. The court will always give custody to the women. And that is not necessarily the case. And that is the reason for this video. So fasten your seatbelts. Let's go on this ride today. I'm going to clear your eyes. And if you're listening to me and you're watching me from any Anglophone country, then the laws are mostly the same, even though I'm going to be speaking mostly from the perspective of Nigerian law. Even if there's going to be any difference, the differences will be slight. And the reason is because our jurisprudence is the same. The roots of our jurisprudence is the same. Most of us, these laws that we practice, we collected it from the white man. And so our laws tend to be similar to each other. And if there's going to be any difference at all, the difference is going to be minute, probably in the customary law content of it. Then that is where there will be difference. But mostly, the substantive English law is mostly the same. The differences are slight. So if you're listening to me from Kenya, for example, my favorite men in the world are from Kenya, or you're listening to me from Tanzania, Uganda, Ghana, any Anglophone country, then this video is for you. Listen to me. And if you want me to do a little research and find out the position of the law in what they say in Francophone countries, then tell me in the comment section as well. And then again, let me say this quickly, that if you want a more detailed legal consultation, then it's gonna have to be paid, and then you can click on the comment on the description box, and then you will be able to consult with me. You'll have a paid session with me, and then I'm going to give you advice that is more tailored towards your needs. But now let us proceed. When people engage in custody battle, it is not generally the rule, as most of you believe mistakenly, that the court will award custody of children to the mother. That's not necessarily the case. There are so many factors that the court will consider. Okay, so now what the court will consider depends on several factors really, but I'm going to talk about three things under native law and custom. And like I told you guys earlier, I'm going to be talking about it from the position of native law and custom in Nigeria. I don't know about other cultures outside of Nigeria, but I'll talk about it under native law in Nigeria, then under Islamic law, and then under when the marriage is under the act. So like I have said severally, if you're a woman and you're listening to me, I've said this severally, that it is always better and in your interest to try and marry under the act. Marry in court, what we call generally court marriage. Check out this video here. Yes. Okay, what we call court marriage. But the thing is this, when we're talking about custody, I've told you guys earlier that the rights and obligations that accrue to you in a marriage depends on the type of marriage you entered into. And under most native law and custom in Nigeria, women have no rights. And this law is going to have to show itself here, that as a woman, even rights to your own children, you do not have. That's just the simple fact. So in the event that there is a divorce between women and a woman and a man that married under most native law and custom in Nigeria, the woman doesn't have any rights. She's not entitled to anything. She's not entitled to the children. And there are several cultures that even demand a refund of the bride price. So therefore, sometimes you find that even if the father is not a fit and proper parent, custody of children, they are going to jump the woman and give custody of children to the closest male relative of the man. And that is the law, simple, under native law and custom in Nigeria. Then secondly, under Islamic law takes consideration of the age of the children. So children that are small, generally from 7 years and down, custody is granted to the children, whether boy or girl. Then from 9 years old, from 7 to the age of 9, If they are boys, custody will be for the father. And if they are girls, custody will be for the mother. And then if children are older than that, custody is for the father. Simple and short. No dogoturanchi, no long English here. That is the law under Islamic law in Nigeria. But the most important one that I want us to talk about here is those who are married under the act. That is what in Nigeria we generally call court marriage. Okay, so when people are dragging custody of children that a marriage took place in court, what are the factors that the court is going to consider? No, the court is not going to automatically take custody of the children and give to the mother. Generally speaking, as a general rule, there was a time that yes, that was the case, but I always tell you guys that our laws are evolving. Okay, so under section 71, under section 71, then subsection 1 and 2 on the Matrimonial Causes Act, yes, the law is going to consider the interest of the children. What did I say? The paramount thing that the law is going to consider is the interest of the children. What is the best thing to do within that context for that is best for the child? That is what the law is going to take cognizance of. And sorry guys, it's very, very cold in Jos today. So there are so many factors that the court will take consideration of before they will decide whether custody will go to the mother or the father. It is not automatic that the court is going to give custody to the mommy. So some of the factors that the court will consider are: number one, who is a better parent? Who is able to show to the court that he's a better parent? He's the one who is in a position to look after the children more than the other one. So for example, if there is a custody dispute between the children and the father is, let's say, for example, a military man or all these international peacekeepers, or you have a job that takes you away from the home for a very long time, and then on the other hand there is a parent that is in one place. Mommy is, for example, always at home. She's the one who sees to the homework, but you are a military officer and you just came back from Sudan, and there's a high chance that you are going to be posted to Mali or Burkina Faso on peacekeeping again. It means that the nature of your job alone does not even allow you to have custody of children. So you see, the court is going to take cognizance of that. Or for example, the mother is an absent parent, or whoever it is among them who is an absent parent. You are somebody who can disappear out of the life of the child and come back after many weeks or many months, and there's no reasonable explanation for it. These are factors that the court is going to take cognizance of. The parents that is around. Then another issue that can influence who is going to get custody of the children, of course, is the finances. Who is the parent that is going to be able to pay school fees for the children? Who is the parent that is going to be able to continue to maintain them within a life that they are used to? Okay, so for example, we cannot sit down here and then maybe the child is used to going to a good school. Then now, because the parents are no longer together, it means the child is going to have to go to a very far place. Maybe you have to trek to school or something of that nature. So the parent that is better able to provide, and it is for who can prove that he can provide. Okay, therefore, within this context, some things like bank statements are going to come to play. So if you are able to show that you are the parents who can provide, you can be there for the child, you can be providing for the child. Then another thing is domestic violence. Okay, so if you are the kind of parents who, for example, is a violent father, your children don't like you, you are known to be the camp commando, you beat children and all those kind of things, it is not in the interest of the child, and the court is going to take cognizance of that as well. What about drug abuse, for example? If you are the parent that is addicted to substances, can the court trust you? Can the court trust you to be able to give children the best under those circumstances? When you collect the custody of these children, where are you going to keep them? Your children live in a GRA or somewhere like that for now. Then you as a parent, you want to come and drag custody, and you don't even have a house over your head. Maybe you are squatting, or you are living in a place where the landlord is even on your case, or you are living in a shanty, and all of a sudden your children are going to go and have to live in a place where the neighborhood is probably full of miscreants or alcoholics or drug addicts. All these things will influence the court's decision to give custody to the child or not. I remember an incident where I held one case like that, and we decided that after we disputed about the custody, we decided that we needed to go and check the place where one of the parties was staying. And what gave us the advantage over the other party was that that person was living in a place that the JMDB, that is Metropolitan Development Board, came and marked it X. So they marked it for demolition. And that was the singular advantage that we had. Okay, so make sure that you have a place where you are going to keep the child. Generally, all these things come together to influence what is good for the child and what is not good for the child. Okay, then another thing again is, are you going to be removing the child from his natural habitat? For example, a child has lived in this particular area for all his life. He has grown up here. He has his roots here, you know, that kind of thing. Then it will not be in the interest of the child to uproot the child and take him somewhere for him or her to go and start a life afresh and again. So, for example, there was one, in fact, let me give you this example of a custody matter that I handled. And the child that was in question had lived in a particular place for a very long time. Throughout his life, he was in that place. He was doing very well in school. He was a member of the literary and debating club. And they were already in a state competition where the child was, you know, the school of the children was hoping that these children were going to win the competition. In church, this boy was a member of the boys' brigade. And so these were the factors that the court took into consideration and awarded the child's custody to the parents that was going to stay in a place that is the natural habitat of the child. So if you are, for example, going to collect the child and move him to somewhere far away, then the court is likely going to not give you custody. They will prefer to give custody in a place where the child is used to and has lived his life. Another person, again, I remember this one, the custody went to the mother of the father of the child, and this child collected the children from the mother and then dropped them with their grandmother, his mom, because he had gotten married again and the new wife didn't like the children. So these are factors that the court will take into consideration before awarding custody to children. Okay, so be sure that you are in a position to take care of the children, every component of their life, and that you are a present parent. Therefore, if you are the kind of person who is always traveling, you work in an oil rig and you can be away for 1 month or 2 months, then you come back again, you can disappear on end, even if it is on account of your job, the likelihood that you will get custody is low. Courts will give custody to the parents that is static in one place and can be there for the children emotionally and physically and in all other components. Another thing that the court will consider is the health of the parties involved. Sometimes a parent can be sick to the point of incapacitation. So how can you be able to look after a child? Sometimes a parent can be sick. Sometimes it's even insanity. Okay, so if you are adjudged to not be sane, you don't have your wits about you, even if other factors are stacked against, if, for example, it's the mother, and as long as other factors are not stacked against her, then the court will likely give custody to the parent that has his wits about him intact. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Please, if you understood me up to this point and you think that there's any more, write in the comment section for me. And remember, like I said, if you want consultation that is more personal to you, you can pay for it and then you talk to me directly. But generally speaking, guys, it is not as if the court will just say, oh, because this is the mother, then therefore carry custody and give. No. Another thing that the court will consider is the age of the children. Yes, the age of the children. Sometimes children who are smaller, mommy will tend to get custody of the children. And the reason is because it is in the general interest of the child. You know that psychologically, children up until the age of 1 year and 6 months, that's 18 months, right? Up until the age of 18 months, the brain of a child, 90% of everything that a child knows is about his mother. So at that point, do you think it is right for you as a daddy, for example, to collect the child and separate a child from his mother at that point? Of course not. So the younger a child is, the higher chances that the mommy will get custody. But as children grow older, the playing ground becomes fairer, and it is for who is going to prove that he's the better parent. So Nigerian men, the law is not stacked against you. Don't be afraid of going to court to contend for custody of your children, as long as you have been a parent that is there. Another thing that the court will consider again, lastly, is the wishes of the child. Okay, so sometimes a child can not like a particular daddy or a particular parent because you've done this or you've done that. When these kinds of things happen, we will tend to isolate the child from the mommy and the dad and then talk to the child. Okay, there are people who are versed, and we that are lawyers and we are mediators, we know how to even read body language of children. So we can always tell when a child is being used as a pawn. You know, probably because this one is the children are with this one right now. So therefore, they will tell the child, say this, say that. We will always be able to pick that. So don't be afraid to come to court. Don't be afraid to approach the court. Don't be afraid to approach a lawyer because you think that the law does not support parents, that the law is not going to award custody to children. If you are able to show that you are a better parent, then there is no reason why the law is not going to award custody to you. I hope I've made some points clear today. If there's anyone again that you do not know or you don't understand, drop for me in the comment section. You guys know I always answer anybody in the comment section. Then remember to like this video, and if you're not yet my subscriber, what are you waiting for? Okay, please subscribe to my channel so channel can grow, and there's going to be plenty more tips like this because there's a lot more where there's coming from. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I didn't think this video was going to get to 16 minutes, but here we are. Okay, if you want another video on what happens if two parents are equally competent, then tell me again in the comment section and I will make a video for you on that. See, Merry Christmas. Christmas is on its way, so I hope you are all getting ready for Christmas. Thank you so much, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.